else to be said after Brother Saladin. I mean, I really, you know, everything he said was on the money, and the way he said it was definitely on the money. You know, I think that that there's a great rumbling going on among the people, and certainly among black people in this country. I mean, when we think about black people, we got to be thinking about the nerve center of all people who are fighting for justice and humanity. But this rumbling is going on. This Hurricane USA, you know, not just Hurricane Katrina.
That's right.
This Hurricane USA is rolling on us all over the country, and in fact, all over the world.
That's right.
It has to be fought. The Gina struggle, actually, it reflects the continuation of the disaster in the Gulf Coast. Prisoners were sent into the jails in Gina, and survivors who were forced out of New Orleans and parts of the Gulf and who are not able to come back home are sent into these areas. And unfortunately, racism has encouraged many whites to view the needed response to the disaster as some kind of new form of welfare. You know, so you have white working people who also are affected by the corporate, the profiteers, who instead of understanding that those who were affected by the disaster and who are being denied human rights, you know, are denied human rights, they see them now as being provided with the resources that they feel that they're denied. So it's increasing racism. And so you had in Gina, you had a reaction to this deepening attack on the black community that's not being rectified, not being addressed. And I remember right after the disaster, the newspaper started saying that the worst criminals, you know, are coming into the community and that they're being pushed out by the storm. And so you had cities now who are already conditioned to feel that people who were destitute, who were forced out of their situation, was going to bring crime into their communities. And so this is the mindset that many whites in Gina have, and many who around the country have, because it's a knee-jerk reaction. When we live in a racist system that conditions people, you understand that there should be a special entitlement for some and not the same for all. Sometimes people just react without thinking.
That's right.
You know, because conditioning creates an instinctive reaction. It doesn't mean that one is instinctively or innately wrong or bad. But if we're not struggling against this system,
that's right.
If we're not struggling to change the system, if we're not struggling to empower those who are the most oppressed in the system, then the system continues to socialize the thinking, the values, and the culture of the people. And we will continue to have these kinds of reactions. These young brothers weren't selling drugs. They were in school trying to get an education. You know, so we forget, you know, that they were going to school. They wasn't out waiting in the alley to attack somebody. They were in the school trying to get an education, doing the very thing that racism tries to say that we're not interested in. Yeah. And so when you try to get an education in a hostile environment, you know, not only is the miseducation damaging us,
yes, sir,
but the very hostile environment, you know, that we are forced to try to learn in is also damaging us. We got to be a part of this rumbling that's going on, all of us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got to be a part of this fight that the young people around Gina is representing. This struggle is going to change the music. You know, the music that the young people embraced in order to make $1, because they were only the music industry was only financing, you know, music, you know, to further criminalize the people. And they said, well, if you want to be a millionaire, you better do this music. But now this struggle here, where young people almost feel that if I can make $1 million, then I'm safe, and they see Gina, to a young person who's trying to get an education. Now you've got the rappers, the hip-hoppers, you understand, the line is being drawn. What side are you on?
Yes, sir.
What side is your music going to be on? Is your music going to be on the side of the struggle for liberation? Or is it going to be on the side, you know, that continues to allow the system to criminalize us? And allow Gina to say, you understand, they said, send in their music. This is why I acted this way. So you got Mos Def, the new Paul Robeson, that's what he is.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, calling on the young people, stand up and be counted. Fight for justice. Organize yourself and speak truth to power. This is the movement that's happening here. And in closing, I think that these are maybe with a new understanding, a different understanding of society. These are the new Gabriels.
Yes, they are.
The new Harriet Tubman. The new Sojourner Truths, Queen Mother Moore. These are the new ones coming forward. And we're going to see them reflect the traditions of our people. More and more and more and more and more. I remember in 1967 and 68, I was out of school and come out of the service a few years early. We was organizing some young people at a school called Ben Franklin. They put potato sacks on a statue and changed the name to Malcolm X and closed the school down and wouldn't let it be open until Betty Shabazz came to me. Well, during that time, you didn't have the same percentage of high school dropouts. Because they were saying that we're building a movement, we're going to demand history in the school. We're going to demand teachers, black teachers, qualified teachers in the school. And they stayed in the school because they saw themselves as a part of a movement to change the conditions. You see, and when there's a movement to change the conditions, you don't run away. You don't escape. You don't say, bye-bye education. You say, you understand, this is my school. You know, and I'm going to organize and make a change, not only for myself, but so that this institution, you know, can provide a future for the next generation. We got to have a movement.
That's right.
A movement don't just change ourselves, it changes the institutions that influence the future. Yeah. So let's get to be a part of this rumbling that's going on.
That's
Thank you.